It's not a slow fade, it's not gradual. There is one specific second, one moment when someone falls out of love. And it happens so quietly that the person standing right next to them almost never sees it. Researchers who study relationship endings have found something that most people find deeply uncomfortable. Love doesn't die over months. It dies in a moment, usually a small one, and everything that comes after, the distance, the silence, the slow disappearance, is just the aftermath of something that already happened. I'm going to show you 5 signs that reveal exactly when that moment occurred. Sign number 2 is the one almost nobody catches in time. And if you watch until the end, sign number 5 is going to explain something about your own past that you've probably never had words for until right now. Sign 1. They stopped defending you. There was a time when someone said something negative about you and this person pushed back, defended you, sometimes even before you had a chance to defend yourself. Then that stopped. Not loudly. They didn't start agreeing with your critics, they just went quiet where they used to speak, let comments slide past that they would have challenged before, changed the subject instead of standing their ground. Psychologists call this protective disengagement. When someone deeply loves you, defending you is almost involuntary. It comes from the same instinct that makes people physically step in front of someone they love. When that instinct goes quiet, it's because the emotional investment that was powering it has changed. The moment they stop defending you, even once in a moment, you probably didn't notice something had already shifted. Sign 2, your pain stopped landing on them the same way. This is the one most people miss. And it's the most important one on this list. When someone loves you, your pain is not separate from theirs. When you're hurting, they feel it. Not metaphorically, physically. Their cortisol rises, their sleep changes, their day gets heavier. You can actually see it in their face when you share something hard, a specific kind of distress that appears before they've had time to compose a response. Then one day that response is slightly different, still kind, maybe still supportive on the surface, but the distress is quieter. They listen, but they don't absorb it the way they used to. They say the right things, but their body tells a different story. That change, that specific. Subtle shift from visceral response to managed response is one of the clearest neurological signals that emotional attachment has changed. Their nervous system is no longer wired to yours the same way. Most people notice something feels different in this moment. Very few can name what it is. Sign 3. They stopped bringing you into small things, not big decisions. Small ones. There's a restaurant they tried, a podcast episode that made them think a funny thing that happened at work. And for a while, their first instinct was to tell you, share it, make you part of it. Then you stopped being the first person they thought of for those things. Maybe you stopped being in the list at all. This is actually one of the earliest signs. It often appears before people have consciously registered that anything is wrong. The small automatic inclusion stops, not because they made a decision to exclude you, because you've quietly moved. From the center of their inner world to somewhere else, watch for the small sharings. When they slow down, something has already moved. Sign 4. Conflict stopped meaning anything to them. Here's one that surprises people every time. You'd think that more fighting means a relationship is in trouble, sometimes, but one of the clearest signs that someone has emotionally left is when they stop fighting entirely, when they suddenly have no reaction to things that used to produce a reaction, when disagreements resolve too easily, when they give in without really engaging. That isn't peace, that's absence. When someone cares about a relationship, conflict has stakes. It matters how it resolves. They push back because they're invested in the outcome. When that investment is gone, so is the energy for conflict. There's nothing left to fight for if the argument suddenly stopped, not because things improved, but because something in them went quiet. Pay attention to what that quiet actually means. Sign 5. You felt it before you understood it. This is the one that explains your past, before you had any evidence, before anything changed on the surface, before they said or did a single thing you could point to. You felt something. A moment where something in your gut shifted, where you looked at them and something registered that you couldn't name, where the air between you felt different in a way that had no explanation yet. That wasn't anxiety. That wasn't your own insecurity making things up. That was your nervous system, reading information that your conscious mind hadn't processed. Yet humans are extraordinarily sensitive to shifts in emotional availability in people they're closely bonded to. We pick up on micro-expressions, subtle tone changes, barely perceptible differences in energy, and we register them before we have language for what we're detecting. The moment you felt something was wrong, without being able to say why, that feeling was almost certainly correct, and it was likely pointing to the exact second this list has been describing. Your instincts were right. You just didn't have the words for what they were telling you. 5 signs. And if you recognized any of them in something happening right now, or in something from your past that suddenly makes more sense, that recognition matters, not to cause pain, to give you clarity. Because understanding what actually happened is the first step to understanding what comes next. Which sign hit you hardest? Drop the number in the comments, just the number I read, every single one. And if this channel gives you things worth thinking about, subscribe to Heart Whisper and turn on the bell. New video dropping soon. One I think you're going to want to catch. See you there.